Hello from Halifax. This is Jo with Jo to the World Creations, and today we're going to be making my Daisy Coasters Crochet Pattern. I'm really excited to share this Daisy Crochet Coaster Pattern with you, and we're going to be getting right to the video tutorial. Everything you need to know about this pattern, including the hook size, the yarn, the written instructions, it's all available entirely for free on my website, or you can purchase the ad-free print-ready PDF, and there are links to both in the description below this video. All right, let's get started. With your yellow yarn, we're going to start by making a magic circle. I make a magic circle with the end of the yarn facing towards me, and I put the yarn over my fingers and wrap the yarn around my two fingers to make an X. Now I pick up my hook, bring my hook under the first part of the X and hook the second part, pulling it under, twisting up to form a loop, with my hook coming back to pick up the yarn on this part of the X and bringing it through the loop, and I now have my magic circle. Now we're going to chain one, and we're going to make 12 double crochet stitches into this magic circle. So for our first double crochet stitch, we're going to yarn over, insert our hook into the magic circle, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, bring the yarn through the first 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, bring that yarn through the last 2 loops. There's our first double crochet stitch, and we are going to make 12 in total. So 11 more to go. There's 2 of 12. You go ahead and make 12 double crochet stitches into this magic circle and then come back to the video. I have 12 double crochet stitches now complete, so I'm going to pull the magic circle tight to close. And a quick note that in this pattern, chains never count as stitches. Now we are going to slip stitch into the top of the first double crochet stitch that we made in this round. So we're not going to work into the chain one, working into the top of the first double crochet stitch. We're going to slip stitch to join the round. Now we are going to fasten off our yellow, so we can cut the yarn, leaving a long enough tail to weave in the ends when we're finished. And now we're going to take this end and pull it through the loop, and then pull tight. You may notice a bit of a bump here, but once we weave in our ends, we'll be able to hide that bump. To start round 2, we're not going to turn. Our work is exactly how we left it when we finished round 1. We're going to attach our white yarn to the very first stitch. This is the stitch that's attached to where we just fastened off. We didn't turn. We're just going to continue working in the same direction and attach that white yarn to the first stitch. So I insert my hook into this first stitch, and I place the white yarn on my hook and simply pull it through. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we are going to make a triple crochet 2 together stitch into this same first stitch. So to do that, we're going to yarn over twice, insert our hook into the same first stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull that yarn through the first 2 loops. 3 loops left on our hook. Yarn over and pull the yarn through 2 loops on our hook. We have 2 loops left. Now we're going to yarn over twice, insert our hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull through a loop. We now have 5 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull that yarn through 2 loops on our hook, 4 loops left, yarn over, pull that yarn through 2 loops on our hook. We have 3 loops left on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. And there is our triple crochet 2 together. Now we're going to be repeating the same steps all the way around. The first thing we'll do is chain 2. 1, 2. Working into the next stitch, we are going to make a triple crochet 3 together. Here's how we do that. We're going to yarn over twice, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. We have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull the yarn through 2 loops on our hook. We have 3 loops left. Yarn over and pull that yarn through 2 loops on our hook. 2 loops left on our hook. Now we're going to yarn over twice, insert our hook into the same stitch, yarn over and pull through a loop. We now have 5 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull that yarn through 2 loops on your hook. We now have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull the yarn through 2 loops on your hook. You should now have 3 loops on your hook. And the last step is to yarn over twice, insert your hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. We now have 6 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull that yarn through 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull your yarn through 2 loops on your hook. You have 4 loops left. Now we're going to yarn over and pull that yarn through all 4 loops. And that's what we're going to be repeating all the way around. Chain 2, and then the next stitch, triple crochet 3 together. I'll do this a little faster now. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And now yarn over and pull that yarn through all 4 loops on your hook. So you go ahead and chain 2 and then make a triple crochet 3 together in the same stitch and do that for all the way around. And when you're nearing the end of the round, come back to the video. I've just finished working all the way around, and I wanted to mention that it is okay if your work is curling up a bit. At this point, it will flatten out as you continue along with the pattern. And once again, this little bump of yellow does get hidden once we weave in all of our loose ends. If you count your stitches, each of these triple crochet 3 together stitches, they all count as 1 stitch. So you should have a total of 11 triple crochet 3 together stitches, and then the first stitch we did was a triple crochet 2 together, so you should have 12 stitches in total. One's a triple crochet 2 together, and then 11 triple crochet 3 together stitches. So count your stitches. Once you've ensured you have the correct number, we're going to finish the round by chaining 2, 1, 2. And then we are going to slip stitch into the top of the first triple crochet 2 together stitch. So we're going to work right into the top, not into the chain 3 that we made to start the round. Working right into the top, we are going to slip stitch to join. Now we are going to fasten off our white yarn, and once again bring that end through the loop and pull tight. To start round 3, we're not going to turn. We're going to continue working in the same direction, And we're going to start by attaching our green yarn to the first chain 2 space. So this is the space underneath the first time we chain 2 in the previous round. And we're going to attach our green yarn right here, and that's where we're first going to work into. So insert your hook into that chain 2 space, and you can see this is where we fastened off our white, so it's a space right here. Put your green yarn on your hook, pull it through, and we're going to just chain 1. It is going to be a little bit loose, but then once you weave in your ends, it will be nice. This end will be nice and hidden here. Working into this same chain 2 space, we are going to do the following things. We're going to make 2 half double crochet stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 2 space, pull through a loop. We've got 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull the yarn through all 3 loops. And there's our first half double crochet stitch. Now we're going to make another. And now we're going to chain 1 and make 2 more half double crochet stitches into the same chain 2 space. And don't mind the loose end here where we attach the green yarn. That will be nice and secure once we weave in our loose ends. Now we're going to be doing the exact same thing in each chain 2 space all the way around. So in the next chain 2 space, we're going to half double crochet twice, chain 1, and make 2 more half double crochet stitches in the same chain 2 space. We don't chain anything in between working into the chain 2 spaces. We simply just go right to the next chain 2 space, and we in that chain 2 space do the same thing. 2 half double crochet stitches, chain 1, and make 2 more half double crochet stitches into the same chain 2 space. You go ahead and do that in each chain 2 space all the way around, and then come back to the video. So I've just repeated that all the way around. At the end of round 3, you should have a total of 48 half double crochet stitches, and only count the half double crochet stitches, not the chain 1s. So you should have 48 half double crochet stitches. Now we're going to finish the round by making a slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet stitch that we made in the round. So we're going to work right in there, and into that first half double crochet stitch we're going to slip stitch. To start round 4, we're going to chain 1. We're not going to turn, and we're going to continue using green for the rest of the pattern. We are going to skip the first 2 stitches. So we're not going to work into the stitch that's attached to that chain we just made or the stitch after that. We're going to be working directly into this chain 1 space, which is the space between the sets of half double crochet stitches we did from the previous round under the chain 1. So we're going to insert a hook into this chain 1 space, and into this space we're going to make 5 double crochet stitches all into this chain 1 space. So skip the first 2 stitches into the chain 1 space. We're going to yarn over and insert our hook into the chain 1 space. Yarn over, bring up a loop, 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, bring that yarn through 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and bring that yarn through the last 2 loops. And there's our first double crochet stitch, now complete. We're going to make 4 more for a total of 5. Still working into the same chain 1 space. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. And 5. Now we're going to begin the repeat portion of the round where we follow the same set of instructions all the way around until there's 2 stitches left. And that begins with skipping the next stitch. So we don't work into the next stitch. Into the next stitch, we're going to slip stitch. So skip the next stitch, in the next stitch, slip stitch. Now, still following the repeat instructions, we are going to skip the next 2 stitches. And we're going to work next into the next chain 1 space. Feel free to pull your work apart a little bit to see that space a little easier. It's right under a chain 1 in between 2 half double crochet stitches and the other 2. This is where the next chain 1 space is. And once again, into this chain 1 space, we'll make 5 double crochet stitches. And there's 5 double crochet stitches all made into the same chain 1 space. Those are the instructions we're going to repeat all the way around. Once again, really briefly, skip the next stitch, in the next stitch, slip stitch. Skip the next 2 stitches, working into the next chain 1 space, make 5 double crochet stitches. You go ahead and repeat those instructions all the way around until you have 2 stitches left, and then come back to the video. So I've just finished working all the way around. I have 2 stitches left. At this point, you can count your stitches. You should have 12 times 5 double crochet stitches, so a total of 60 double crochet stitches made in this round. So now we have 2 stitches left. And we're going to skip those 2 stitches. We're not going to work into those 2 stitches. We are going to slip stitch into the first chain 1 stitch that we made to begin the round. And it's going to be a little tight, but we're still going to work into it. So working into the chain 1, I keep calling it the first chain 1, but it's only chain 1 we made in this round. So into the chain 1, we are going to slip stitch. Now we can fasten off our green yarn, pull it through the loop to pull tight, and then get your yarn needle and weave in all your loose ends. And once your ends are woven in, you now have a new daisy coaster. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy making these daisy coasters. I'd love to see your creations. I'm here if you have any questions or if there's anything at all I can do to help, please let me know. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.